Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. So you guys, I'm sure you have already heard by now what happened at the Oscars, but it really is something that I think tells a much broader story, things that I've been talking about, and it kind of gives you a little bit more perspective on things. So if you haven't seen it or heard about it, I'm not sure where you've been, but you know, the biggest news has been Will Smith got really upset about a joke that was told at the Oscars. So upset that he literally got out of his seat, took his time and walked up on the stage and smacked open hand to the face to Chris Rock. And it was one of the most awkward, stunning, questionable moments in television history. It was like, what did I just see? Like, for real, did you just go up on the stage? Is this a skit? Is this like a joke? Is y'all gonna start laughing? And like, it was so bizarre and just appalling to see that there was an assault on a entertainer mid-performance like this. Being accountable for your behavior is when you are able to know when you have done wrong. And I have yet to see Harry and Meghan really talk about when they have ever been wrong. Go back and think about it. When have they ever been accountable for their own behavior? And I hope that Will Smith will be accountable for his behavior and how he acted, and apologize to Chris Rock. And set the tone and to make it not acceptable, make it not okay to give an actual physical smackdown. Symbolically, okay, I can deal with that all day because that's symbolic. But to actually assault someone with a smack to the face, wow, that takes some serious guts to do. And I think overlooking people that have the guts to do these things, that's the wrong tone. You have to symbolically, you have to smack that down, because that should not be happening. And it's the entitlement. I mean, think about what Harry and Meghan did when they went to the United Nations and how they had wanted to speak to the Secretary General. But they only got to speak with the Deputy Secretary General, but they clearly wanted to have access to the highest of the highest up power structure when they went to the United Nations. Like, what gives them the knowledge and know-how and the credibility to be able to have that access? Is the entitlement of it all. And I believe the reason why Meghan goes around saying the things that she says, behaving the way she does, is because she knows that people are going to give her more credibility because of the access to power in which she has married into. And people, for example, like Oprah, who still have not even given Thomas Markle his opportunity to give his side of the story. But this is supposed to be someone who is a journalist that is supposed to look at both sides. So maybe Oprah can, do right by Mr. Markle and hear what he has to say. It's like, it's only until, like I've always said, people who are attached to power structures, who have really large platforms, it is not until they take that brave step to really speak out against wrongdoings. We can't set the tone for bad behavior and look the other way because, yeah, they really big, or they got access to such and such, or I'm just going to believe them because they're in the same industry as me. Whatever the reason is, when wrong is wrong, you have to call it out. And this is another clear example as to how I believe, my opinion in all of this is that Meghan Markle can get away with the things that she is doing because of the power structure in Hollywood and their history with looking the other way when bad things happen. And it can be perpetuated on different platforms via entertainment and media when other people go out and regurgitate the lies and try to dismiss other people that don't have a connection to Hollywood, like Samantha Markle and her father. Just because they're not the Hollywood world currently, because they have in the past, but because they are no longer in this whole Hollywood arena, why is it that Megan's words can be taken as truth, and she can be validated and vindicated because, you know, what she says is truth, but other people who are receiving the brunt of Meghan Markle's lies can be dismissed, and like their stories don't matter? Like that's not right, and it's not fair. What does it say? Does it set the tone for people who have clout in the industry that your behavior can be overlooked? Look, I'm not going to talk about what the joke, and, you know, was it a bad joke? Should he have said it or not? The real issue becomes, why did nothing happen in that moment that showed that was wrong? Assaulting someone like that openly on a stage like that is not acceptable. And I'm sure if someone had done that to Will Smith, how would he have reacted? I mean, he's like a comedian as well. Like, he tells jokes and he does things out of fun. Is it that perhaps Will is going through some really dark times right now and he just emotionally is not very stable? Because someone who is not very stable can do something like that. Because think about it. It wasn't like it was like a mid-reaction to, like, Chris is standing right in front of him and he just reacts. No, he literally had to think, okay, I'm getting ready to get up out of my seat, and I'm going to take the, you know, few seconds that it takes to walk up on the stage, and I'm going to react. So he had some time to really think about what exactly he was going to do in that moment. And if you watch the video, right before he got out of his seat, he was laughing. He was thinking the joke was funny, but when the camera showed, or when he saw that his wife was not happy about the joke, I think, and some people were saying this, that, you know, he wanted to show his wife that he really loves her and that I'm going to do something to really protect, you know, you, because this is something that has been insulting to you, even though he was just prior to laughing about it. And so that split second reaction to, I want to protect my wife, and get up and go on stage and commit this act, you know, just to prove something. I don't know. No one really knows, but it was really one of those moments where if you are in Hollywood and you are big enough, people will look the other way. And they have looked the other way with a lot of things that have happened in Hollywood that are unacceptable. You know, this is why certain things in the industry with the casting couch is considered just, oh, that's just what they do, you know. And the Me Too movement got some traction because, you know, women were fed up. They were like, enough is enough. And so, you know, this behavior is very similar to, I think, why Meghan in the first place wanted to be in Hollywood, because her bad behavior is being overlooked. Because we know the lies and things that she has told and how she has behaved toward her own family. The lies that she told on Oprah. You know, the things that most people will say, no, you don't do that. That's wrong what you're doing. Nuh-uh. But because it's in Hollywood, and it's because she can actually pay a PR agency to cover up her wrongdoings and to give her, and to make her in a good light, and to overlook her clearly bad behavior. That's just a part of how you do things. And so she can go to Hollywood and she can be accepted for her bad behavior because of her connections to the royal family. And this is why the majority of people will not really see the true meaning behind the actions that Meghan has done, clearly for all to see, wide open. And I'll be dropping a video later today that I was going to drop today, but because of what happened on the Oscars, I wanted to speak about this first. But that video is really talking about how Meghan is able to have this winning strategy in America because of the Americans' way of seeing things that she has done, and more specifically how it's done in Hollywood. You can walk up on a stage and you can assault someone, not even be taken out of the arena, sit there and for the whole show get an Oscar. People came up to Will congratulating him and really, consoling him about what he did. Like, he felt really bad about it. And I'm sure he's having some regrets. Chris Rock is not going to press charges. Nothing's going to be done about it. I know that this is one of those situations where you just kind of turn the other way. You look the other way, and you don't really try to make any judgment on this bad behavior. And this is what people are doing with Megan, because her clout, her power, her access to those within the industry is what is giving her leeway to continue what she is doing, for everyone to see, knowing full well it's wrong. It is wrong how she is behaving and how she has treated her family. And, most recently, I've had access to some very, very important information about Megan's behavior. And I'm just really appalled at how she treats people, and how people can accept this as being okay and accept it as, she is the true victim. But if you do not really hold up and stand up to what is right, when someone clearly is doing something wrong, even when it is a hard smackdown assault, physical assault, and a lot of people are complicit when people of power have bad behavior and actions. And I can see fully well why, more specifically, why Megan would want to go to America first. I'll be talking about that in my video, my video that will drop later today. But most importantly, why Hollywood specifically? Because they'll turn the other way. They will not pay attention to the clear wrongdoings to people and about racism, using racism as a card to hold on to some power. Wrongfully charge racism, because this is a woman that, like I've said before, has never really experienced firsthand racism, my opinion, only because of looking at her and knowing that someone like Megan does not have the same experiences as a black woman as someone that looks like me or someone that looks like her mother. And so she's using her opportunity to play the race card to benefit herself. And most black people will look the other way, just like they looked the other way after they saw an assault on live television during an award ceremony.